Hello, it's Meg with Seed to Fork, and this is my October garden tour. October is a time when we really start putting our garden to bed for the season. We're harvesting lots of fall crops right now. We're currently looking at our first fall frost, which hasn't happened yet, but it will be happening soon. In addition to our garden is our kittens that we've released into the garden just this weekend. So we've got 2 barn cats now named after apples. So I'd like to spend this time this month showing you where we're at in the garden season. A lot of things need to be pulled, and that's what we're going to be working on today. This is our first really nice sunny day we've had all week. So I'm going to share a little bit of that process with you. I'm going to share what's in the ground. I might show you a little bit of what's going in our root cellar. And, you know, October is really the time that we get ahead for next season. And so that's probably a little bit of what I'll be sharing with you as well, of kind of my thought process of how we can get our garden ready for next April, because that's what we're looking at here as we head towards the end of the season. So I hope you enjoy this garden tour, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so some of our fall crops we have in the ground still that we are enjoying and eating are we've got some peas again. These are Opal Creek snap peas. We've got tons of Brussels sprouts, and you might not be able to see, we've got some different radishes here way behind me. I've got some several kinds of radish. The names, of course, are escaping me at the moment, but I'm probably going to spin the camera around when it gets a little sunnier in the rest of the garden and show you everything we've got growing. Kale as well. Leeks are going to stay in the ground for a long time. The things I'm really focusing on this weekend are pulling out our sweet corn, which is done. It's just standing. That's going to go to the compost heap. Our green beans, our cucumbers, our tomatoes that I'm actually going to throw in our municipal trash because of all the disease that they're carrying at this point. And that's about it. I might start pulling some of my flowers too, which feels ruthless, but it might snow on Friday this week. So at that point, it's either deal with them when they're still living or deal with them when they're all slimy and frostbitten, and I kind of would rather try to get ahead of it this year. All right, this is kind of a mess down here. I think it still looks really beautiful. I've got all my peppers. Had mixed results with them. A lot of anthracnose on them, developing even worse as the season went on. It is what it is this year for us. I mean, fungal diseases, it's been our wettest summer in a long time. So it is what it is. This is another area where I need to do a really good harvest. This isn't going to be my priority today in terms of, like, I'm really trying to do a good cleanup today. But this nasturtium mound that has some tomatillos in it is probably getting ripped today. So are my cucumbers and my beans back there. And we'll probably even take these trellises down, which breaks my heart because it's structural interest, but it also gives me this space for renewal and to kind of see this garden with a clean slate, which helps me really think about how I want it to look next year. I've got all my photographs and my videos for inspiration, but I like to mix it up and really play with visual interest and change up our design every year. So I'm kind of looking forward to having a clean slate here. This bed is going to be mostly cleaned up today. This bed right here, our lowest bed. We plant this one late because it does, as you can see, I'm in the shade, and it is 10:30 in the morning in October, and that's the same it'll be in March, April, in April. So even in May, it's main season. I put main season crops in here because this is not warm enough early season. That's why I always plant my earliest season's crops higher up. So this is going to get a big makeover today. This is the last time you're going to see all this planted. So the compost heap, a lot of this is going to go. I'm going to probably leave my peppers until frost, just because why not? I can only do so much this week. So, but here you have it. This has been kind of a flop for me. I'm going to try tomatillos again next year. I actually haven't grown them since we lived in Oregon. I haven't grown them at all in Minnesota because in Oregon they were so prolific, and then they re-spreaded everywhere the next year. And we made salsa, but it wasn't like our favorite thing in the world. So, but my oldest son loves salsa verde, so I want to grow enough for him. And this year I totally failed at that. We've got some roasted tomatillos in our freezer, enough for maybe like one batch of salsa. So I need to give it its own space. I let this nasturtium climb and roam, and it totally took over. So I am sure there are tomatillos in here. It's just going to be a little bit of a hunt. this should be a familiar scene. I've shot several of my tours from this bed, my tomato bed that's looking pretty sad over here behind me. It's coming out today. This is my earliest brassica bed, and it currently has some fall crops in it. Carrots, which replaced a lot of my earliest spring brassicas, my main season and late season carrot crops. I had green beans in there, they're mostly gone. I've got my fall broccoli, some of my fall cabbage, fall watermelon radish, and so this bed is going to be feeding us now for the next several months. It's been feeding us already since as early as May, and it's still going strong. It's one of my favorite beds because it's so productive. I keep it turned over. I'm very active about replanting this bed all season long. A lot of other spaces just get one crop. This I get to continually renew throughout the season. So it's a very actively managed bed, and I love it. The tomatoes, sadly, we've got a lot of anthracnose, a lot of disease. The large majority of this is going to get bagged up and put in our municipal trash. It's not worth it for me to try and compost it because the anthracnose lives in the soil for 4 years, and I just don't want to risk continuing to infect other beds. I think it's everywhere, but still, because I know this is an issue, I don't even want to flirt with that possibility. So these are all getting torn out off-site. I'm going to be cleaning all these panels and storing them in the barn for the winter. All right, it's now Thursday morning. All of the rest of this tour I recorded on Sunday when it was sunny, and I've spent the last 3 days really working on tearing things out. Tomatoes, gone. Trellis, denuded. That was a tough one to do ahead of a frost. Our lows are 33 this weekend, but with snow, I just didn't think it was worth it. And our highs next week are in the 40s, and I have a very, very hard time working when it's cold out, so I decided to get ahead of it. So what's left is cold hardy crops. So we will continue to eat out of the garden for another month or two easily. But at the same time, we are already starting to think about next spring and where we want to put things and what beds we need to amend this fall and get hoops up so that we can be ready in March when we have a little break in the weather and we're gonna put some transplants out in the middle of a snowstorm. So the cycle continues here at Seed to Fork, and I appreciate you all taking the time to watch this. And as always, you can get in touch, leave a comment here, send me a message. I'm really easy to get a hold of on Instagram at Seed to Fork, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope you have a fantastic October in the garden, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for watching.